Welcome everybody, day before Halloween, October 30th, 2018. I'm Chris McClary for your daily CIRF report. We got some very interesting aspects today. Very congruent between astrology and DreamBot. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, here we go. Mercury going into Sagittarius. That Mercury is the communication planet, the thinking planet. So, communicating or talking without thinking, Sagittarius, boom, go. Just go do it kind of a thing. So spontaneous, impulsive, and that's going to be your communication and thinking influence today. And lo and behold, this kind of stuff here has a tendency to shake things up in relationships. So look at this. We've got Venus, who, Venus was going direct and then is now back in retrograde. So we had this opposition to Uranus previously, and now we have it again. This is a chance to have drastic changes in close relationships, close and romantic relationships, unexpected drama. Karma sets in, and even as much as very recent karma. So what I'm thinking is impulsive talking becomes the catalyst for big change. And then down here in numerology, we have self-expression and creativity. So lots of creativity abounding with Uranus, with change. Anytime there's change, there has to be creativity in order to facilitate adapting to that change. Okay, and then a little bit of socialization. So that's that. Now we go in to see what the collective dreams are showing. If I can hit the right button, yay. The red arrows are about Mercury today, so talking and effects of communication. Smooth, tone, war, spoke, competition, believe, believe. Mental, well, believe is a thought, so that's why I put that in there. Mental, doing, going. So it's specifically Mercury in Sagittarius is the red arrows. That's pretty clear. And then the blue arrows is being the center of attention. So when you are talking without thinking, you might end up surprising people, and then you actually do become the center of attention. So exactly, completely, daytime, actually, appearance, lift, lights, main, drag. What I also have here is it's not just center of attention, but how you appear. So like drag is you're appearing to be somebody different than you really are. Appearance, lift, lights. So, and then exactly and completely, these sorts of words imply that you are on the stage and the appearance matters. How you appear. People are going to see. People are going to see the appearance. So outer appearance and that sort of thing. All right, there's a lot of words in there. I've got the Mercury and Sagittarius going on myself. So let's whittle this down and then talk about how to surf this energy. Clearly, the Mercury communication, getting very spontaneous, impulsive, that can be either good nor bad. Good and bad. All right, so just Mercury, Sagittarius, that's one influence. And then feeling like you're on stage, and then big changes in relationships. Let's take a break and talk more about how to surf that energy. Sometimes we all fall into this rut of working with just expectations and we start to expect how other people act. Then we start to expect certain things in the relationship. And then we just hang on to certain outcomes. And what I'm talking about is more of the, to start off with, the Uranus opposed Venus aspect and how to surf that. Because we tend to resist change, first of all. And we tend to avoid change in big things like relationships. So in other words, the importance of the outcome of, let's say, let's be married for the rest of our lives, that becomes more important than having a loving, happy relationship. And we miss the journey along the road because all we can think about is keeping that individual with us for the rest of our lives. And then it becomes just outcome-based relationship. So the beauty of today is that we're about the journey. We're about what's happening real time in our lives. And so when we talk about the change in the relationships, that doesn't have to be a bad thing. Sometimes like anytime you look at astrology charts, they're going to say big changes in relationships when Venus opposes Uranus. And automatically everyone thinks about breakups. And the astrologers even talk about breakups. But what about the opposite? You can have big changes in that. For some reason, the big drama brings you both together. And so this living in the moment is getting us out of this paradigm of long-term outcome-based actions and more about what's happening right now and my happiness level right now and closeness and the dynamics right now. Now, the neat thing that you can do with the Mercury going into Sagittarius is the creativity. And there's tons of different things we can talk about. But one thing that came to mind for me was a form of self-expression called auto-writing, or you can do even auto-speaking. So let's talk about how to do it individually, and then you can bring this into your relationship. Individually, auto-writing is where you get into a state of mind, almost hypnosis, and just let the subconscious do the writing. And what you can do is break down this filter problem that we have with the conscious mind, hiding the subconscious mind from us. And we can figure out what's really happening behind the scenes. Because in reality, the subconscious mind is much more powerful of a predictor of our life outcomes than our conscious mind is. In other words, you can say that you want this, this, and this all you want, but what does the subconscious want? If the subconscious is used to poverty and conflict and breakups, then you're going to subconsciously influence yourself into those situations, and it becomes patterns. In other words, or you can find what's in the subconscious by looking at the patterns in your life. And the neat thing is, once you become aware of them, then you can change those patterns. You don't like constant breakups, then the subconscious might be able to tell you what's happening in those, whether or not you're picking the wrong person or you're doing something that causes conflict or facilitates conflict in that. So the way you do automatic writing is that you start to shut your mind down in a meditative kind of environment, and you just do some breathing techniques and put your mind, focus on one particular thing that really matters to you, whether it be joy or survival or healthy eating or healthy living, family, whatever matters to you the most, just one word. And then bring your relaxation, bring your tension down, bring your relaxation up. And then when you get in kind of a trance, then you start writing. You can do this either typing on a computer, on a word processor, or you can take a pen and just start writing. But your conscious mind is not writing. It's just flowing, just going with the flow. And again, the goal here is just to let the pen do the work. You're not worried about outcomes. You're not trying to make sense of these sentences. Okay, so that's what automatic writing is, and you'll be very surprised. The first few words are just going to be gibberish, and it might continue to be gibberish for a paragraph or two, but then it almost kind of sounds like it makes sense somehow. Then you start just looking for patterns in that writing and see what's in the subconscious. Likewise, if you would like to deepen a relationship, or at least move it forward, whether or not we're going to, get closer or figure out that we really don't like each other, that kind of thing, at least moving it forward. Because I do have some clients who just can't stand the way it is right now. And like any change would be better than what's happening right now. You can take this auto speaking the same way that we did the auto writing, but with the partner. And this becomes nerve-wracking because you're the epitome of Mercury entering Sagittarius and just speaking your mind. But it's best to do this in a very meditative state, in a very quiet state, instead of just rambunctious, tension, conflict-ridden, all that kind of stuff. So bring yourself down, and for those of you who really want to accelerate in the deepening of your bond, do sit down with your partner and look into each other's eyes and stare into each other's eyes, and just do that for a few minutes, like a lot of minutes, and see what happens. And this is a great way to get into a trance with the partner. And then, without thinking about what you're going to say, just say it. Just say. There's no filter. And don't have expectations about what needs to come of this particular session. Just say. And when the other person can be curious and get rid of their expectations about what you should be in your subconscious and just let it come out, then the real you can start coming out. And as long as we have the real you, the couple can work on those things. So that's I know this was a long duration. That's 13 minutes. Oh my gosh. Wow, that's horrible. I've lost everybody by now. But for myself, this is a great way to strengthen your bonds with other people, the people that you really love, and a great way to use the Mercury entering Sagittarius energy, because it's getting to more of your truth, getting down to the inner core. And that way we can either resolve those issues, or we can explain why certain things have already happened in the relationship. You know, all these wonderful things. But we're getting away from this plane of pretending. And pretending we know doesn't work. Are you going to pretend the rest of your life? And that's the mindset of the outcomes instead of the happiness in the journey. This is about the journey completely. So anyway, I hope that helps. I'd really like to hear if some of you actually try these things. So comment below if you do that, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Thanks, everybody.